All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're excited to jump into a new topic today, part of our Phygital Learning series. Today, we're get a chance, a treat to have somebody else kind of talking through with us another great educational tool. Today with Adobe Express. And I appreciate Alex being with us, and I'll let him introduce himself in a moment. But we're excited to kind of walk through like, what does this look like in the classroom? What are some amazing, easy ways to get started with Adobe Express? So thanks for joining us, whether you're live or watching the recording. We hope that you walk away with some really useful material, something that you can make your own and really get started with right away. My name is Nathan Wells. I'm director for Phygital Labs, and I get the privilege of leading a lot of these webinars. And today, get the benefit of Alex's knowledge of Adobe Express and letting him kind of jump in. So Alex, I'll let you take over the screen whenever you're ready and let you introduce yourself a little bit about what you're doing now.
I'm very excited to be here, Nathan. Thank you for the intro. My name is Alex Isaacs. I'm an educational technology coach in Long Branch, New Jersey, and I am also an Adobe Creative Educator level 1 and 2, an ACE leader, ACE innovator, you name it. I'm Adobe Creative certified. So I've absolutely loved representing the platform, and so excited to also represent Phygital Labs today as a learning consultant and really sharing what you can do with this platform. So really happy to be here to share with you from idea to impact teaching with Adobe Express. This is a web page that I created on Adobe that is going to kind of walk you through this. So whether you're watching this live and want to follow along, or if you're watching the recording on YouTube, you're going to be able to kind of scroll through this web page and create this activity if you'd like, and hopefully share it with your students. So if you have an Adobe Express account, you're more than welcome to log in at this time using adobe.com/education/express. But if you do not have an account, I would definitely recommend, if you are an educator, it is free for K-12. And you have some really great access to generative AI tools and design tools that will really tap into the creativity of not only yourself, but also your students. And I can speak personally from my time in a math classroom before becoming a tech coach. I have vivid memories of Felix and Danica and Guillermo and all of my friends creating Adobe portfolios about themselves when we started off the school year. So regardless of your content area today, I hope that you're going to be able to take something along with you. And hopefully by the end of it, Nathan, you agree that this would be something to really kind of utilize in a classroom. So we have a bit.ly link available to everybody out there if you'd like to access this web page and kind of follow along. But at this point, we're going to kind of, in a very brief amount of time, show you what Adobe Express offers on kind of the home page, including ways to kind of level up your learning in a very simple and compact way. You're also going to learn the basics of the Adobe Express editor, including navigating through different types of templates, including guided activities. And specifically, we're going to create a personal identity patch using generative AI features in Express. So this activity that we're going to share with you today, I would venture to say that when students complete it and you hopefully make this into some type of collage, whether it be printouts or digitally, you're going to have just an actual community quilt for your students that, my goodness, I don't think it could be a better idea for a bulletin board or something along those lines. So that's the template that we're going to start with in just a few moments. But before we get to that, just really wanted to talk about how this tool sparks creativity within students. So it helps in the creating aspect. It's really important to remove barriers for students where they're not focusing so much on, they're focusing on the thinking and bringing their ideas to life rather than the crafting or saying, I can't draw. That would be what my kids would sometimes share with me. And this was a tool that allowed them to be more successful. And it really offers just a great Adobe stock footage, both in video, templates, anything that you really want at your fingertips in a very simple way, available to students and teachers alike. But in addition to that, you have different templates that are standards aligned to different content areas, even down to the mood. So you can really connect with students as well using this platform, especially multilingual learners. I can speak personally to using the translate features in Adobe Express again when I was in that math classroom. And very quick story, I was in a 4th grade math class where I had made instructions in a video. And what I did was within about 5 minutes, translated that transcript into Portuguese for my students with Adobe Express. So while we're not going to get into that tool today, it really does make stuff more accessible and inclusive to students of all types. And finally, that ability to communicate. I mean, Nathan, I don't know about you, but when I had students and they were staring down the barrel of that camera, they might clam up a little bit. I might even clam up a little bit every now and again when I have to look at myself on a screen. I'm kind of doing it right now. I'm just joking. No. The different multimodal tools are going to give kids that level of comfort where they're going to be able to express themselves in a way that really fits them. And one thing, if we don't get to it tonight, I'm going to kind of point it out to everybody out there, is something called animate character. And when I tell you that I've had kids all the way from, I believe, first grade to 12th grade be engaged by that tool, I mean it. And I'm very excited to hopefully get to share that with you a little bit later on. But at this point, I'm talking far too much. And I made this web page where that button will bring you into a great video that's going to kind of share with you the basics of the Adobe Express homepage. But what I'm going to do is I already have it pulled up right here. When I tell you it's just vibrant and very inviting and has these three great different options for people with Educator accounts, including create, teach, and edit. They're changing it up. They're kind of picking and promoting the best tools, the most useful tools to everybody out there. And I would tell you one more time, this little Caesar guy right here, that would be the tool that I would kind of explore in my spare time, just kind of giving like a little hint there. But the spots that I'm going to kind of focus on is, considering we only have now less than 20 minutes at this point, I wanted to make sure that everybody out there knows exactly where to go in order to be proficient, or at least feeling confident enough to use this platform with their students. And the first aspect that I would recommend looking into is this Learn tab over on the left side with the light bulb near the bottom. And what that's going to offer you is broken up little bite-size either videos, and we're not talking like long form, we're talking quick little bursts of information on how to do different actions on the platform. You have different videos that relate directly to video and design. The 12 Days of Creativity is so fun. You know, I participated in that with kids in my district as well, making ugly Christmas sweaters. I think we got rid of the word ugly and did like an SEL spin, and we just did winter sweaters or something like that. So just really great opportunities. And one other thing that I want to highlight that is fairly new are these Educator collections. Now, these are coming from individuals who just bleed Adobe Express through and through. They have made template sets that are available for educators all over the place. Minimal editing needed, but they are fully customizable. And I do believe I saw Ann Cosma in the chat. I think I see her in the group right now. Ann, I submitted my 3 templates. I would love to see them join the ranks of these great Adobe Express people someday. So thank you for being here as well. And thank you for everybody for being here. So in addition to the Learn tab, where you have all these different options, I'm also recommending that you check out the Activities tab right here on the left side. And the reason behind that, even though you have some great standards-aligned activities, you have this opportunity to earn a badge and build your skills. You have different classroom templates. This top row are what are known as guided activities. And why I really highlight these is the fact that these will have built-in video instructions walking you step by step through the design process. So, you know, I always believed when I was introducing something to my students, I'm trying it out first to make sure that it works well. So this will be your opportunity to kind of walk through with the directions and kind of get that sense of what this is going to be as far as a lift. And again, minimal as far as all these projects go, but as far as impact goes, very high. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that regardless of those core content areas you have, even math, they're going to have guided activities available to you. And I can personally speak to doing some of these with my students, having trained educators with some of these. And it's a really great opportunity to kind of see geometry or different types of math concepts come to life. And me personally, when I was in my math class and we learned about prisms, I did an identity graphic that allowed students to pick out one of the different types and bringing in real world examples. And the best part about all of that was the fact that my students didn't have to go anywhere else on the internet in order to bring in those great elements. And just a little side note, Adobe stock footage all being accredited to the creators of the footage, of the pictures, So you have that built-in digital citizenship going on this platform as well. So whenever you change your subject area or grade level, the materials underneath are also going to kind of adapt to fit your needs. And I would encourage everybody out there, if you're in one of those four main content areas or any other, you can use that search bar up top, and it's going to offer you some great options. And with St. Patrick's Day coming up pretty soon, Nathan, I just saw greetings right there. Hopefully this will load. I mean, look at how we could start this off if we're having a, very safe and responsible St. Patrick's Day party next week. So
Those are so
just,
fun.
yeah, so photos, backgrounds, design assets, web page templates, all kinds of stuff that's very timely. And Adobe does such a great job of keeping those materials very fresh and new and evergreen in other cases.
I
So,
know, Alex,
yeah,
I
go
know you're
ahead,
going to get
Nathan.
into some of this, but I'm just thinking like quickly, if I'm an educator, I'm new-ish to Adobe Express. I'm like, oh my goodness, I love one of these. What is like the first thing you do as somebody new to Adobe Express? Like, I want to use one of these themed patterns or one of these templates. What is like
Sure.
the first thing I need to worry about or do with that?
Well, I don't think much worry out there, luckily enough, but I will say you have a couple of options. I mean, you can kind of scroll through them and heart them to add them to your favorites, and you'll see that it goes view favorites underneath, and you have your folder for that. But in
Nice.
addition, you can kind of click on them, and it's going to give you more like this underneath, but it's going to give you that close-up look at it. And again, you can favorite it, or you can simply now just go customize template. And, considering Nathan, I would say accessibility and inclusivity might be the biggest passion of mine.
Mm,
That idea of being able to translate these very quickly is
nice.
really amazing. So, you can now go in, you can now change the different colors of all these different components. And again, over on this right side in this new side panel, you have different tips and you have guided activities where if you're looking to pop into something else very quickly, it's right there. But recommended fonts pop right up for you. You can change these to fit your needs. You have some really great options available to you within this space.
I love that. It's just, I love that the tips are right there, and I love that it has those recommended. Because I know for
Yeah.
me, I'm not a designer by heart. Like that is just, it confuses me sometimes. So to have like those recommended things and those quick tips, like those are like my go-to. Like I just love that. It makes it so easy. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
they
Alex.
make it absolutely. They make it very accessible. And another great little feature that I like about Adobe Express is you could go add page and you can change the sizing on your future pages. So you can do all kinds of stuff within one space and design. So at this point, we kind of explored those two spaces. I'm going to go back into present mode here. We explored those two spaces that I would say anybody should really getting started with the platform. Take a look at those spots. You'll be up and running in no time. But at this point, I really want to kind of discuss this identity patch graphic design activity. So we got about 10, 12 minutes left. I think that's perfect. And if we get to it, we'll kind of show you that animate character piece as well. So if you're in on this web page with me and you click on this button right here, it's going to bring you directly into the template. And as you can see with those instructions over on the right side, this means that it is a guided activity. Now, I haven't explored this too much myself, but Adobe Express has recently offered the ability to customize the guided activity instructions to fit your students' needs. So talking about translation, I love the idea of that right there. But considering I've done this activity many times, many different practice runs, I'm going to remove that side panel. And what I really love about this activity is it's very quick, but you can also learn a lot about your students. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to edit the text. We're going to show you how to generate a new image. And then if we got a little bit of time left, we'll show you how to record some audio on here. So I was talking to my partner, Lois, who's another Adobe creative innovator. I think she's in on the session with us right now. I really wanted to make it where we start off with the really fun stuff. So to create or regenerate an image within Adobe Express, it is as simple as clicking on whatever image was generated with AI, going over to this generate image tile on the left side. And what I really love about this is you can customize whatever prompt you want on your AI object, and it is going to remain saved on that piece in your design. So you can see that this is one in the shape of Illinois filled with the Chicago skyline, purple flowers, and a cardinal. It looks gorgeous. I absolutely love it. But for today, I'm going to tap into my native New Yorker roots to start. So I'm going to go in the shape of an apple. Okay, I'm going to go with the Big Apple today, filled with the NYC skyline. Let's get rid of all the flowers for now. And city streets. Whoops. I had a better prompt earlier, Nathan, but I'm on the clock now. All right, so colorful embroidery patch in the shape of an apple filled with the New York City skyline and city streets on a transparent background. Now, before I generate this, we're trying to go for that patch effect, and Adobe's already kind of preset this object with those effects. You have so many different options underneath between the content type and styles right here, including layered paper and origami style. So, you know, kids' imagination is the limit here, and we all know how kids can imagine. I'm sure 6/7s could be going on throughout any Adobe Express design right now, and hopefully I didn't give any designs to any children out there. But I've got my new prompt in, and I'm going to keep the same effects, and I'm going to go generate. And within, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, we're going to get 4 new options. Now, you might notice that the new options might look a little bit cut off. The reason is because the original graphic was kind of cropped, and you can see that right now. But that is as simple as simply pulling on the side handles and making sure that everything is visible. And now I'm just going to simply go into one of those corners on the dots, resize it. And I got to tell you, I'm feeling at home right now back in Queens. That's my native spot. So absolutely love that you get 4 different options. And for anybody out there who's like, man, those all are horrible, you can go generate more right here. It's going to give you 4 more. You'll use another credit. But with Educator accounts, I believe you got $250 a month. And you are not going to go through that, even if you are just really hammering this thing all month long. So absolutely love that patch. You know, and one thing that I could share is this was an activity that was out in the fall. I was at a training in Staten Island, and it was right around Halloween. So we had them create a Halloween theme patch. And when I tell you those looked stellar, and then they actually put their favorite Halloween candy in the top left corner and a little bit of a description of that, and then their favorite horror movie in the bottom. You know, it was just really great to adapt it and have those people have such a great time. But enough of me rambling on. We've got our lovely embroidered patch now. And the next thing that I'm going to share is this Aya name underneath. Now, this is generative AI text effects that are available within Adobe Express. And what's really great is you have all of these preset ones like gold drip and gem stickers, or yeah, all these great options that I'm sure kids would just absolutely go wild for. But you also have the ability to type in your own prompt. And for me, in this case, it's white embroidered patch text. You can see that I have that right there. They give you more options of that. We could switch it to this one if we like. I like that one with a little bit of stitching. It takes a little bit of pop in time, but that's okay. I know that Y is going to come in. But when you now double click to change your name, and I'll go lowercase with the rest of my name, you'll see that it will pop in. And now considering that Apple's not taking up too much room, I'm going to now make my name very, oh, and it's even got those little buttons in the middle of some of the letters. That's very interesting. I'm going to make my name a little bit bigger, and I'm really happy with how this is looking right now. The last part that we would be editing would be kind of double clicking on this text box right here. So this represents me because I'm from New York. And I love looking at sunsets of the city skyline. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so we've got that right here. And now one thing that I did not do before, even though I showed you how you can kind of very quickly access a template and go in and out and make those edits, is you have these recommended fonts right here. So you can go view all. Let's highlight everything in there. And it's going to give you similar fonts, featured fonts, and you can go view all, but it's actually picking up your overall design and giving you recommended fonts to choose from. And let's say that you like this Lotto Bold right here, but you want something similar to that. You could go more like this, and then it's going to kind of get very granular with you right there. So if I wanted to kind of go with a slight change right there, I can. And then as far as other edits, this one right here, it might be a little bit challenging. Now we're kind of getting into the effects options, and this is actually a really great opportunity to share that there are some amazing Photoshop and duotone effects within Adobe Express that offer those customizing abilities that, it really makes a design unique. So I'm going to take a look at some of the duotones. You can go custom on your own. But I think I'm going to go with like a very light blue, and then I'll go with a blue for the background as well. So you have all these different options, but you can also go custom. As of now, it's already starting to look more unique to me. We started with an Illinois skyline and we got different colors and all of that great stuff going on. So I'm really liking how this is getting personalized now. And instead of me continuing to ramble, I'm going to click on that back patch. This is the layers of your design that are over here available over on the right side. I'm going to click on that purple aspect and I'm going to go back into those effects to make this darker blue. And now I'm ready to go. I'm really liking this design. So Nathan, before I kind of wrap with showing some of the different recording options, and I'm probably flying here, any questions coming about, any ideas sparked with you right now with regard to this activity or the platform or otherwise?
Yeah, no, I love the activity. I mean, the idea that students can take, where my mind's going is I just helped a middle school class on book reports. And we were talking about ways that we can have students be more creative in bringing in technology for showing other students things that they enjoyed about the book. And so where my mind went when you were talking about the patch is it's not just about where you're from, but we could do this as a book report, right?
Yeah.
Like students putting in like, what is the theme? What was the main thing I enjoyed about this book? What was the main character? And they could use that instead of just where you're from. And so there's so many cool things that my mind's kind of going through of how you could take this activity and drop it into so many other content areas, which is really fun. So that's like immediately where my mind went. And then I just have to say, layering was such like a weird concept for me when I started using different design apps. So to have that just handy and just immediately right there in view and easy to access is just a nice little touch. Like there's just something, I'm glad you pointed that out because that's been a godsend for me to be able to like see it right there so I could easily select which part of the design I'm working on. So those are the two things that like pop out to me.
And Nathan, just quickly building off of your idea, symbolism, in those
Yeah.
ELA classes, the idea of picking out one symbol from the book, representing it with your own
Yeah.
patch, and then kind of explaining it. So love
Love
those
it.
ideas. I think that those are some great integrations and ideas as well. So at this point, I've got my patch. We've got a few minutes left. I'm going to show you what I think is the most impactful tool on this platform. So I've got a little space over in that bottom right corner. I'm going to go to add content, select media, and just before I record with an anime character, I want to make sure that we all know that you do have the opportunity to record a voiceover. So you do not have to be on camera, but you do have a front-facing camera available as well where you can just go record yourself. But at this point, even though this has been in a beta, it is still a great tool, and I'm very excited to share it with everybody out there right now. So I'm going to click on Anime Characters Beta. And what I love about this is you have so many different characters that they're adding monthly, weekly, and they really allow students to represent themselves in a specific way. So that student voice is coming through with who they're picking for their character. Considering I'm bringing this into a design, I'm going to go to background and choose transparent. I'll keep the size the same, but you do have TikTok style and Instagram reel style backgrounds where you can make it more vertical. I'll actually go that. That's fine. But now under characters, let's see if I can find him very quickly. Nathan, there's a guy named Emmerich. There he is. He kind of looks like me, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm dressed almost like an Amish person. Maybe it would be me a little bit. So I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to kind of shrink him down a little bit so that he is missing his legs for whatever reason. But I'm going to kind of shrink him down and put him over here. And you have this enhanced speech option that's going to allow your microphone to sound studio quality with Adobe Express. I'm going to enable that, and I'm going to do a very quick message. All right, we're going to allow that. You get a countdown. I made this patch because I'm a native New Yorker from Jamaica, Queens. We'll hit done. You'll get this nice little fun emojis over on the right side telling you that it's actually taking care of it now. I'm really hoping that it doesn't take too long in the queue. A lot of people are usually using this tool, but you'll now see a very important part that I think really connects with teachers and students. and it was computing lip sync. Because what's going to happen is whatever I said, that character's mouth is going to move at the same time, usually pretty darn well. And Nathan, as we finish this up, very quick story. I don't know how big of a football fan you are, but I'm a big Jets fan. When Aaron Rodgers came to the Jets, I made a football talking about Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl. He ruptured his Achilles about a week later. So I can have some bad voodoo with the animate character every now and again. But now I'm going to kind of shrink my Emmerich guy down, and you'll see that the design is turned to a video, but I'm going to zoom in on him. I don't think I'm sharing audio, unfortunately, but I assure you it is him talking. I made this patch because I'm a native New Yorker from Jamaica, Queens. So Nathan, I probably wasn't sharing audio, unfortunately, but that I assure you, it was me talking right. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. You now have your character brought in where a student can reflect on a lesson. And I would just encourage everybody watching to ask themselves that one question. I like to think of myself as a really engaging guy and former math teacher. Would your kids be more engaged with a launch or a do now with one of these guys introducing it, or you? And I can honestly admit, for me, I wish this tool was available when I was in the classroom still, but now it's my job as a tech coach to share this with everyone else in my district. So I would tell you at the end, once you're really happy with your design, you have your video involved, you then go up to this download button right here. And when you have those video components, it's going to default to an MP4. You can go download. And that's where you can either share that on your LMS. There's actually within classrooms, there's this board option that allows you to kind of upload all of the different activities that are being submitted by your students. So you can see that it's downloaded. Nathan, give me about 1 more minute and then I'm going to kick it back to you. Okay. So we've got our video downloaded at this point. I'm going to kind of scroll to the bottom of our web page before running out of time here. So that was just very quickly showing you that activity. We would love to see you create your own patch. This was another one representing, my very youthful age, being in Matawan, New Jersey as a kid. And that was kind of my patch that I made that showed New Jersey off as well. Now, considering we're kind of out of time, I wanted to make sure everyone knew how to set up their classes. There are 2 video embeds right here that will show you how to find standards aligned templates and create your classes. So I would definitely recommend checking those out. And you also have the opportunity to go directly to different template ideas using this button right here. Now, the only thing that I have left to share is the fact that if you're engaged by these design activities, this web page today, and you're looking to learn more, one of the best communities out there is the Adobe for Education community. We have a link that will bring you directly to their homepage, but I'm also going to display this QR code. You want to scan it when you're on the web page, you can do that. But it's just a great community that's very supportive, including Ann Cosma joining us today, who's one of the Adobe Education community team members. So I can't thank her enough for joining and everyone else joining us, but I hope you enjoyed kind of creating along with me. And Nathan, just really thankful for the opportunity to present on behalf of, Phygital Labs and Adobe Express, and really hopeful to get the opportunity to do it again soon.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks, Alex. There's so many great resources and ideas. It's so fun to see different tools and how they can impact the classroom. And so this is just another example of an easy way you can bring things in and be able to immediately get a teacher involved and excited and be able to see the different content pieces of where this can fit in different classrooms. So thanks for bringing your knowledge and experience, Alex. I really appreciate that. If you'd like to stay connected with Phygital Labs, we do have a newsletter. We also have different social media where we're posting about these events that we have coming up. We have another webinar coming up next week with a different tool. So we're always trying to highlight amazing things that are supporting learning, that are helping educators do things in the classroom and are allowing them to be successful. So Alex, thank you again for joining us, sharing your knowledge. Appreciate all that you're doing for us. And thanks for everybody that hung out with us for a little bit. And if you see this recording, I will place in the description the link to Alex's website that he had listed. So you'll have access to that. So you can go down below in the description and see that. And then otherwise, thanks everybody and have a great rest of your day. Take care.